I'm Debbie Belaus with Feel Good Qigong, and I am here to show you a practice. I get a lot of people ask me, what can I do to practice on my own? And it's such a big subject, and there's so many things that you can do. So I started thinking about it, and it reminded me of a basic recipe. So we always have a basic recipe for cakes, right? You have to put eggs in it usually, sugar, something sweet, flour, maybe milk, some sort of liquid. And that's always a basic recipe for a cake. And then you can start adding, if you want, like a carrot cake, you put the carrots in and the raisins. You know, if you want just a vanilla cake, you would just put vanilla in it. So I'm going to look at this as like the basic recipe for a Qigong practice. And this will take about 15 minutes. And this is something that I do every time I do my own practice. I do my basic recipe, and then I add in other stuff after my basic recipe. And usually that's things that pertain to the season that I'm in. So the basic recipe, you know, it could be a standalone for you, or maybe it is just the start of your day to add in some other activity that you might want to do. Maybe you're a runner, maybe you play tennis, but the basic recipe you would do every day to get the most benefit of it. And I figured this out after teaching for so many years of what I think helps in the shortest amount of time that could be the most beneficial for the system. So my basic recipe, this is what this is. I always start with the rotation. And I like to do my basic recipe in the morning to start my day. I just feel, for me, it starts my day better, and I'm more aware of how my body's feeling, and then I know how to self-regulate as I go through my day. I always start with a mindfulness practice. That's on my own. That is part of my basic recipe, but for the movement part, this is part of the basic recipe. And you want to, you know, mindfully move. You can sit and do a mindfulness practice, but you can also move mindfully. So as I'm moving, as I'm rotating my hips, I can feel some achiness in my low back. So I know I'm going to pay attention to that as I go throughout my day. Or I might, after my basic recipe, go in and do some, maybe, some stretching, or, some more aerobics. So again, mindfully move when you're exercising. It's always a good thing to do so you don't injure yourself. And you can really pay attention to how your body's feeling and what your body needs. So rotation, you can do it any way you want. It's just a way to soften up the muscles and the joints a little bit, especially after sleeping and being in one position. This is just a nice way to get things going. I also like to go from side to side. This is called bamboo in the wind. Again, it's a nice, gentle way, smooth way to get some openings for the joints especially. And then I like to bend forward just a little bit. This is not so much of a forward bend, but just to release some tension from my head and my neck. I'll drop one arm and do a circle with it to wake up that shoulder joint, to get some movement in that shoulder joint. I would say 95% of people have shoulder and neck pain. So just getting some movement in this area goes a long way. And other side. Other direction. And then just shake out everything. And then shimmy up. I like to shimmy because shimmy just opens up my rib cage, which helps with your breathing, and it also helps with the spinal cord. So a little bit of shimmy. So again, in the morning to get started, it's nice to do things that are a little bit more gentle. You don't want to, rush through something. Your body's just starting to warm up. It's just starting to get some circulation. So that's my rotation part of my basic recipe. Then I go right into shaking. I do this every day. This is called shaking the 9 gates. And again, a nice way to get your circulatory system going. So we are 60% fluid, and we have more fluid than mass in our body. So we want to get this fluid circulating right away for the day, because we're kind of like a lake. We have our own ecosystem. If you see a lake that's all mucky and dirty, it means it's not circulating. Same thing with your body. If you're not circulating all those fluids, things start to get mucky, and then the system's not getting its support that it needs to function at a high level. So just shaking the 9 gates is such an easy thing to do. It's turning on, I call them applications. It's turning on your circulatory application for the day, starting your hydraulic system, pumping those fluids. And if you want to intermediately jump up and down on the heels, that gives a little extra pump for your lymphatic fluids. Lymphatic fluids tend not to move on their own after the age of 50, especially. So we're manually going in here and turning on our lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system helps to flush out your toxins. So something you want to do every day, part of this basic recipe. You can also purge your breath. Since we're shaking and releasing toxins, you inhale through the nose and then you blow it out softly through the mouth. 70% of our toxins are released through the exhalation of your breath. The other 30% is released through your skin, through sweating, and the other part is released through your large intestines through elimination. So we're not only, getting our applications open for circulation, we're also starting to release some toxins out of the system, which we always want to be doing constantly. Always clearing out the system, purifying the system, turning on your pumping system, turning on your circulatory system. And that's what we're doing here in this basic recipe. And then stop, and you might feel some tingling, circulation, something's going on, you've got some circulation going. Now I'm going to do what's called swinging. We're just moving forward and back on our feet. Again, it's another circulatory system application that we're turning on. It's also, again, a great way to release toxins because I'm moving my arms up and down, which opens up my lymph nodes, which are right under the armpit. And also I'm bending my knees a little bit. That opens up my groin lymphatics because there's a lot of lymphatics in the groin as well. So a lot of benefit to this movement, this gentle movement. I'm going to add a little something to it to release some more toxins and also any anxiety. Sometimes we wake up with a little bit of stress, don't even know why, but collectively we're all going through a lot with this, the pandemic. So I wake up with some anxiety, and I don't want to start my day that way. I don't want to live in anxiety, so I'm going to release through this movement. We're going to inhale through the nose, and then you blow it out through the mouth, and you make that sound. It's a great way to release some stress. And it's also a great way to purge. You could do a few. Kind of work at your own pace. Inhale. Exhale out. Inhale. And exhale out. And I'm just going to quiet down my doggy. Oliver, come back here. Come on, sit down. So if you exercise with pets, they'll usually kind of follow your lead too. Oliver's always nearby. So if he hears the noise, he's going to go and bark. Thank you, Oliver. And then slowly bring that down. And just settle that in, noticing how you're feeling. Hopefully you're feeling some energy again. Another part of my basic recipe is stimulating my proprioceptor system. Proprioceptor system center points are your palms, the bottoms of your feet, and right between the nose and the mouth. Now, what are your proprioceptors? They're sensory receptors that helps you navigate how you move in space. They get desensitized, and that's kind of how we fall easily because we don't know where we are in space. So we're activating the proprioceptors by rubbing my hands, tapping the bottom of my feet, and then also tapping that section between the nose and the mouth. Proprioceptor, basic recipe. So I know how to navigate my body. My body sensories are very heightened. Now I'm going to add a little bit to this. You're going to tap the opposite hand with the opposite knee. Again, we're activating those proprioceptors through the palms and through the feet. We're also doing a crossover direction, which is an energy direction that helps, again, balance out your right and left side of your body. This is also good for coordination, and it's a little bit of an elevation for your heart rate. So again, easy movement that has a lot of benefit. And that's what my basic recipe is about. It's about getting a lot of benefit. Little goes a long way. And you can continue with your purge, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. And then we'll come to stillness with that. Shake the hands out and do a little extra crossover. the back of your shoulder and cross it over your body. So this helps with clearing out your mind, getting ready for your thinking mind. Maybe you have work to go to, or you're working on a project, or you have to do your financial books, whatever. This helps to get some energy crossover because we're very linear. We're up and down. We don't move in many different directions. So again, part of my basic recipe. And then let that settle in. How does that feel for you? Separate the feet a little bit. We're going to move some energy around. Now that we've got everything going and turned on, we're going to inhale, raise the energy up, and release. And then again, inhaling, raise up, and release. Inhale, rise up, and release as we rise up for the day. Rise and shine. Coming back to dynamic standing, basic recipe. This is where we ground in. This is where we turn on our power source. So the fingertips are facing the earth like lightning rods. We're engaging our legs and our feet. Tuck your tailbone under. Lift your shoulders up, back, and down. Head rests comfortably on your neck. One is fun. We're lifting the corners of our mouth up because we're turning on our joy factor. You want to start your day feeling joy. I mean, if you wake up a little angry or anxious, fake it till you make it is the word, is the phrase. By lifting the corners of your mouth up, you're turning neurologically, you're turning on your joy factor, which turns on the good hormones for your body to heal. If you're anxious or kind of off, cortisol starts to drip in, and that's the hormone that creates a lot of inflammation. So your basic recipe is to start your day with some joy feeling. Even if you're not feeling it, we're faking it till we make it. So one is fun. We lift the corners of our mouth up. Two is shu. We're bringing heat to the feet where we want the heat. So we're grounded in, we're rooted into the earth. Three is tree. You're visualizing roots coming from the bottom of your feet into the crust of the earth. And then four is core. Now we go below the crust of the earth into your biomagnetic field, which is the middle of the earth, where there's this big round magnetic iron ball that's highly magnetized. We are also biomagnetic energy, and we're tapping into this resource. And then five's alive. Let that energy move through you. This is what Qigong is. It's energy cultivation, tapping into this energy that's all around us that we can use for self-regulation. Full deep breaths here. Draw in that energy. Now place the palms of the hands facing the earth. Maybe you can feel some tingling. Maybe move the hands around a little bit. Activate those proprioceptors again, and also tap into this earth energy that's below you. We sit between heaven and earth. Now we're going to draw up this earth energy, flip your hands up, and bring the arms above your head. Gather these two energies and wipe yourself clean. So we're wiping ourselves clean, starting a brand new day with a clean slate. We inhale, we draw up this earth energy, we gather the energy all around us, and we balance out as we clear out. And we're going to do one more. Inhale, draw up this earth energy, gather the energy all around you, and just wipe the slate clean as you arrive back to this moment. And then there's one more basic recipe I have. It's moving the spine in 4 flexions. Twisting flexion, forward and back flexion, and side flexion. And then this will be our basic recipe. So now that you energetically have your energy moving, now that your circulatory system is high and functioning and circulating all your fluids, now that you activated your proprioceptors as well, now we're going to move the spine in every direction. And you're inhaling and exhaling this whole time. Really be mindful of your breathing, because that'll just add even more to your basic recipe. Getting geared up for the day, fully alert, fully alive, fully clear, calm, and strong, all at the same time. So that's our twisting flexion. It's called knocking on the door of life. And then we'll slowly bring that to a stillness. Let that settle into your body. We're going to come into a forward flexion and a back flexion. Lots of ways of doing this, but I love this one. The sides of the arms and hands touch. And then we inhale as you rotate the elbows back and around, back bend, and then you exhale, you tuck into the forward fold. Inhale, open up into your back flexion. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, back flexion, and exhale, forward flexion. Now take your time with this. You can go as slow as you need to, especially if you have back pain. Be mindful of this movement so you get the full benefit of it. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, maybe compress a little bit deeper, but get your spine moving forward and back however you need to, whether it be small or a bigger movement. This will keep the life of your spine. It gets your spinal cord fluids moving. And it keeps your spine from compressing. Because once you compress the spine, that's where pain starts to happen. A lot of people suffer from back pain because of that. And then release. So that's your back flexion and forward flexion. Now we're going to do a side flexion. So we take your left hand down, your right arm up, separating heaven and earth. We come back to center. We're separating, we're lengthening, and then again. And now we're going to take this over to the side. There's that side flexion. And then back to center, and then side flexion. And then one more time, inhaling, side flexion. So that's part of my basic recipe, every day in every way, moving the spine in 4 flexions, twisting side to side, and forward and back. And now we're going to end with one more. It's called tapping. Activate your proprioceptors, activate the energy in your hands, and we start to tap the head. Again, brain's 80% fluid, only 20% mass. Got to get the fluids, cerebral fluids moving in the brain as well, the head as well. So this little bit of tapping goes a long way. We tap the face and around, the whole face, relax your jaw. We do a lot in the mouth. Tap that proprioceptor center again for a little bit of extra proprioceptor, energizing that sensory system of our body. We're doing a little tapping here, activating the lungs. I feel a little congestion in my throat. I don't want that to exacerbate in my lungs, so I'm going to try to keep that clear. And then tapping that thymus gland. Thymus gland is part of your immune system. Part of the basic recipe is to activate your immune system. The thymus gland produces red and white blood cells. It shrinks over time, so we're activating it with circulation, with this tapping, this vibration as well. We're going to go right into some cupping or tapping. You start with the arm all the way up to the back of the shoulder. What is this doing? Your fur around your breast tissue, lymph nodes, a lot of them here. Remember, always thinking about flushing out your system under the armpit, and then cup down the inside of the arm. So what is this doing? This is activating not only your proprioceptors, your skin, you're bringing circulation to the surface of your skin, which happens to be your largest organ of your body. It is your first line of defense for your immune system. The pathogens will come in through the skin. They also come in through the nose, the ears, any place there's any kind of holes in your body. That's where pathogens enter. We're going to tap this whole front of our trunk. A lot of our organs sit here. The vibration, again, helps to keep them clear and energized. So we're clearing out this energy system, which I talk about a lot because Qigong is an energy practice. And then we'll tap a little bit, little fist with the hands, a little bit more rigorously here. This is part of the femur bone and the thigh bone. And we're doing a little bit of osteoblasting for bone density, and then tapping the hip joint, and then tapping the back, the kidneys, adrenals, and then massage this area. Jump up and down a few times on your heels. Again, this vibration, the shaking helps to release any tightness, any compression, any gooiness, stickiness that you might have in your body. We're going to tap down the backs of our legs. We're working on meridians. I'm not going to get into that now. I do talk about them a lot in my classes. We're coming up the inside of the legs, over to the hips again, to the sides, down the sides of the legs, up the front of the legs. And let's stay here for a few extra tapping for the knees, because knees are a very sensitive area for a lot of people. We want to keep circulating the knees. And then up the front of the legs. And now we tap and we slap the groin area. Again, lymph nodes here. It's about clearing out, flushing out, cultivating energy, moving the body in those 4 directions. And this is all part of that basic recipe. And then hold and feel that vibration happening through your body. Take a couple of deep breaths. You're ready to go for your day. You're energized and centered and have dynamic relaxation. And we'll just do one more. We're going to gather all this energy all around us. Palms of the hands come together. Drop those hands right down to your heart. Good time to set an intention for your day. Today, I invite into my life. What do you need today? Ask for it. You're nice and open here. Have a little bit of energy sent out into the universe. Ask for what you need. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste to all of you. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel. I always try to post little things here and there. I also do offer classes during the week between Monday and Thursday. Lots of videos on my YouTube channel. You can get a lot of information there. Thanks so much. Really appreciate you showing up.